Gotta lock down the Doodie Lo situation because I ran through both indictments, right?
He just called me. He is
But
very upset at me.
about what?
Come on, Wack. I said, what? Man, I seen it in the post. You put, if they don't pick him up in 5 days, you don't know what's going on.
What's good, y'all? There seems to be a lot of confusion about being a co-conspirator, not being named, but also not being arrested or even charged. If you're already familiar with this, then you might want to fast forward about 3.5 minutes and get to that other audio. But I'm gonna cover this for people that may not be familiar. So a person being named or described as a co-conspirator in a federal RICO doesn't necessarily mean that person will be arrested or even charged. Under federal RICO law, prosecutors generally must prove an agreement to participate in the affairs of an enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity for a RICO conspiracy conviction. But an indictment can discuss people who allegedly participated in events without making every participant a defendant. Common reasons include they are cooperating with prosecutors. A person may have entered a cooperation agreement, pleaded guilty separately, or be providing information against other defendants. Sometimes their cooperation isn't immediately public. That's the narrative a lot of people go with if they think a person is a co-conspirator. Second, they haven't been charged yet. Prosecutors can bring a superseding indictment later. An investigation may still be developing. Third, insufficient admissible evidence. Investigators may believe someone participated, but prosecutors may not believe they can prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. So they'll just indicate their participation in a particular overt act, but them by themselves, it may not be enough to tie them to a pattern of behavior. 4, they were charged in a separate case. We kind of covered that earlier. Next, we have they received immunity or another agreement. And in some circumstances, prosecutors can obtain testimony through immunity or negotiate an arrangement that doesn't result in prosecution for particular conduct. That's also kind of an overlap. Then, there's simply an unindicted co-conspirator, where federal indictments sometimes refer to co-conspirator with a number after it, in this case, co-conspirator 4, or similar people have alleged to participated in the conspiracy but who aren't defendants. Couple more things: timing or investigative strategy. Arresting someone can alert other targets, compromise surveillance, expose confidential sources, or interfere with an ongoing investigation. That happens a lot too. It might put the person in danger, it might put the case in danger, or it might tip off other people. Jurisdiction and extradition problems. The person might be outside of the jurisdiction or country. That's not the case in this one. And then prosecutorial discretion. Prosecutors aren't required to prosecute every person investigators believe committed an offense. That's a strong one too. So, as they always say, what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. So they got a lot of people looking at the Doodie Lo character side eye because he's been named in there by Jam, not in the indictment. And he's just outside. He's trying to give Durk wife a hug, running up on Trap Lord Ross. You know, he's telling Durk's parents, you know, we got your back. And he just seems unaffected when his name being thrown around in court, but he's not in the indictment. So that's what it is, man. Let's get to the audio. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
We gotta lock down the Doodie Lo situation because I ran through both indictments, right?
He just called me. He is very upset at me.
Uh,
Doodie Lo, upset at me.
about what?
Come on, Wack. I said, what? Man, I seen it in the post. You put, if they don't pick him up in 5 days, you don't know what's going on. I said, hey, look, bro, I already know you was co-conspirator number 4, but the other thing got up there and said you called a shot to go get him. And we trying to figure out what the if this nigga ain't credible, what the he gonna stand for? We trying to figure out why. I said, bro, he just called me like, bro, listen, bro, yo, bro. I said, bro, we gonna talk about it. Come on, Brad, bro. I respect you. I said, I ain't did nothing disrespectful to you, bro. What I do? Bro, you said in 5 days you're gonna be scratching your head if I ain't been arrested. And just got on the stand and told them people. And you know what he told me? This will me up. I knew what Jam was gonna say, and I knew what he had already told him. What? So now that means you've been questioned. He said he knew. He said he knew exactly what Jam was gonna get up there and say, bro. If we all sitting here scratching our head, that told me 2 hours ago, I said, bro, that just got on the stand and said you dropped the low and called the dog. Okay, why wouldn't the police? He said I knew exactly what he was gonna get up there and say. So that means you had to been questioned, and they had to tell you what was said already. I swear to God, now get to talking, my brain be analyzing. I'm like, what you mean? I said, bro, you heard what that said? I already knew what he was gonna get up there and say. You knew. So this wasn't a shock. So that means you had been briefed on what had been said. So that means somebody questioned you. That's too much too much conspiring. That's conspiracy. That's too much. I didn't know all that. Hey, bro, this is why I'm trying to tell you, bro. I mean, it's one thing, bro. Yeah, he got a key role.
All right, y'all. So it depends on what perspective you coming from. If you involved in the case and you be in charge, you can't afford to take any chance. You gotta look at everybody sideways. If you're a journalist or a reporter, you can see both sides of it. Half the reasons could indicate that he may not be participating. The other half, he is. And if you the Doodie Lo character, you gotta be on the swivel. He trying to extend all the goodwill he can. With Durk's wife, give me a hug. She seemed reluctant. Running up on Trap Lord like, yo, you gonna have him looking at me? You don't want our boy looking bad? I don't understand what's going on with Jam. And then him telling Wack that he knew what Jam was gonna say, is that because you just know what any snitch is gonna say because they're just gonna go opposite? Or is it because you were briefed? We won't know. Like I said, down the line, a lot of things will come out. Shout out to Michael Blackshire for covering this very well. Ack on top of it. A lot of people. And we'll keep y'all tuned in. And it's very intriguing. If I did want to throw something out there, I don't see that they got a slam dunk on Durk, though. That's just from covering this for years, but not as no lawyer or nothing like that. Anybody with legal expertise, they may have a different take, but I don't see the slam dunk. Because if you can't tie the money directly, that's a key component to what happens. So we'll see, though. We all tuned in and appreciate all the support, man. Like, share, subscribe. It's Dell. Till next time. In Second Take, we out.